Do you have a cat? Well, you'd better have a license for it, or else you will go to jail. Yes, jail for being nice to a kitten. Let's explore. Hello everyone, and welcome to the Freedom Alternative. I'm finally back and almost recovered from the aggressive flu I picked up in Ukraine. I'm still coughing and the infection isn't completely out of the system, but yeah, whatever. That's why there's video editing, to take out the coughs. Anyway, so just when I got back into my home, I saw this article from the Ottawa Sun. Man jailed for not having a cat license. And goes like this. The capital's cat scofflaw is now a jailbird. Dan Smith was jailed Thursday for not having a Gatineau license for a cat he says isn't even his. The 65-year-old retired refrigeration technician arrived at the Gatineau police station around 10 a.m. "I want to get this over with," Smith said. "I'm turning myself in." Smith told the woman at the front desk of the station, "I'm surrendering." Smith has been chased for months by animal control officers and police in Gatineau over a $276 charge, fine and court costs, after being found guilty last summer of not having a license for a cat as required under municipal bylaw. Smith, however, says that Winnie isn't his and it's feral anyway, and he doesn't even live in Gatineau. He says Winnie belongs to his estranged wife, with whom he still shares a Gatineau home, even though he also has a place across the river in Vanier. Smith says he bears no resentment against the animal. Who Smith does blame is an overzealous SPCA officer and the Gatineau bylaw, which requires cats to be licensed and doesn't make a distinction for a feral cat such as Winnie. The cat first showed up their door 12 years ago and stuck around because his wife kept feeding it, Smith says. Minutes before arriving at the police station, Smith said his hands were shaking at the thought of jail, but there was no way he was paying the money to stay out. "It's the principle. Why should I pay a fine if I don't own a cat?" Seriously, Canada? Seriously? Now, I do realize that this is a local bylaw and not a national policy, but the fact that this stupidity hasn't been struck down by a superior court is in and of itself telling a story about the mentality that drives the employees in the institutionalized extortion system, as most authorities should rightfully be called. The fact that nobody in the whole chain in the system thought that it is completely and utterly idiotic to put a 65-year-old behind bars for feeding a feral cat, this fact alone is indicative of the highly disordered worldview to which most state employees adhere to. And the worldview is the one according to which nothing can or should exist outside of the almighty state. Not even an old guy feeding a feral cat. And when you have adherents to such mentality running your civil service, then it no longer matters who you vote for. Because, you see, any country is first and foremost run by the civil service, by the low-level clerks. And this is true anywhere, from Canada to North Korea. For instance, in North Korea, it is no longer an offense to do small business and trade with your fellow man. Not because Kim Jong-un said so. In fact, he still insists one should go to Gulag for that. But the civil service, the low-level bureaucracy, simply decided to cease to enforce the rule. It's these kinds of low-level bureaucracies that get to transform a country one way or the other. That's why such stories do matter, because they provide insight into the mentality of the low-level clerks who actually run a country. And in the case of Canada, it ain't looking good. I guess there is some good news too, as Gregory Allen Elliott was finally found not guilty after a 3-year battle with the feminists in court for the crime of disagreeing with the national religion of Canada. But that's a spit in the ocean. With a civil service so status that would make Stalin envious, one court victory, no matter how spectacular, rightful, and deserving, is not enough. Not even by a long shot. I may be proven wrong on this one. In fact, I hope I will be proven wrong. I don't want to make fun of Canada, at least not in this fashion. But with Trudeau at the helm, I suspect a lot of that will be in order for the time being. Jesus Christ. Putting people in jail for feeding a cat without a license from the almighty state. Seriously, let that sink in. And with that being said, thank you for watching, and I'll see you around on Freedom Alternative.